All right, the board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye. Or here, sorry.
Alderman Oldenburg,
Here.
Alderman Cone, Alderman Orion,
I'll join Schweitzer with the aye.
Alderman Balmer,
Present.
Alderwoman Velazquez,
I am here.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Present.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Present.
Alderman Browning,
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Here.
Alderwoman Keys,
Here.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Boyd,
Here.
Alderman Aldridge,
I am present.
President Green,
Present.
Alderman Cone, Alderwoman Tyus, 13 present. You have quorum.
A quorum being present, we will dispense with line items 3 and 4 and move on to introduction of honored guests. Are there any introduction of honored guests? Seeing none, then Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on the approval of the minutes from Thursday, August 8th, 2024.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we approve the minutes from Thursday, August 8th, 2024.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th. We approve the minutes from Thursday, August 8th, 2024. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda and has been placed in a Google Drive for your review.
Anyone wish to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? Anyone wish to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? Anyone wish to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? Seeing none, we can dispense with line items 9, 10, 11, first reading of board bills.
We have none.
Reference to committee of board bills.
We have none.
Second reading and report of standing committees.
We have none.
Report of special committees.
We have none.
Board bills for perfection consent.
We have none.
We can dispense with line items 12 through 16A. Board bills for perfection.
Board Bill 71, Committee Sub as amended, sponsored by Alderwoman Velazquez and President Green. An ordinance submitted to the qualified voters of the city, a proposed amendment to the charter of the city of St. Louis that adds a new section 2A to Article 2 of the charter of the city of St. Louis, providing for the election of a public advocate, and new section 13A of the charter of the city of St. Louis, creating a new office of public advocacy and granting the public advocate certain authorities and duties, providing for an election to be held for the voting on the proposed amendment, for the manner of the voting, and for the publication, certification, deposit, and recording of this ordinance, containing an emergency clause and a severability clause.
Alderwoman from the 6th, you're recognized on the perfection of Board Bill 71, committee substitute as amended.
Right, thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Madam Clerk, for reading the summary. This bill is one of the 5 core recommendations.
Alderwoman, would you like to move for perfection?
Yes, I would like to move for perfection.
You make a motion to perfect.
And I'd like to make a motion to perfect. Second.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 6th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we perfect Board Bill number 71, committee substitute as amended. Alderwoman, you may proceed.
Thank you. This Board Bill 71 is one of the 5 core Charter Commission recommendations to establish an Office of Public Advocate as an elected position. Also that this role would basically have functions in our government that we don't quite have at the moment. One of the key one being that the Division of Civilian Oversight would move under the Office of Public Advocate. particularly giving separate legal counsel and support to the Civilian Oversight Board and the Detention Facility Oversight Board. As written, this position would also centralize all of our sunshine law requests and be the custodian of records. In addition to that, there's been a lot of conversation that it is duplicative. In some ways, it is actually not. This position really is the ombudsman would serve as the ombudsman for the city, would investigate and complaints about operations and city services and provide analysis and reports on such services. So with that, I know that we've spent quite a bit of time in committee on this. We heard from the Office of Public Advocate in New York. So I also do want to say, I know there's been some conversation about credit ratings, especially in context of these charter commissions, and from the research that we've pulled, credit ratings are about 10% of governance. Governance is about 10% of a credit score for a city, and that is actually in the implementation, not simply the discussion of a bill or the existence of some of these bills that we've been talking about, the Charter Commission. So with that, I will stop and yield for if any of my colleagues have questions.
Any further discussion? Alderman from the 14th.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would like to make a motion, and it's in the Google Drive for everybody, to move to adopt Amendment 1 to Board Bill 71 Committee Substitute.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we adopt Amendment number 1 to Board Bill number 71 Committee Substitute as amended. Alderman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. There'll be several amendments that I'll be offering. I appreciate the Alderman for the work that she's done, and also appreciate the Charter Commission for the months of time that they spent to try to figure out how do we modernize and move government more efficiently. One of the concerns I think with this legislation that I've talked with colleagues about is, if this is going to happen, we don't want to necessarily with ensuring that if the public advocate office is actually going to exist, that we move forward with eliminating ENA to ensure that we don't kind of have duplicate roles or double offices, which I know the Aldermen have talked that wouldn't be. So Amendment 1 would strike out on page 2, line 3, the effective date. Right now, currently, this legislation said the effective date would be the first mayor election after 2025. What we did is we strike that out and said this legislation wouldn't go into effect until the official effective date of the ordinance that would go into a place with getting rid of ENA. So this would start the process of making this legislation trigger language so that it wouldn't go into effect unless another board bill would to move forward with abolishment of ENA. And I close for any questions.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, then it's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we adopt Amendment number 1 to Board Bill 71 Committee Substitute as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Alderman from the 14th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move to adopt Amendment number 2 to Board Bill 71 Committee Substitute as amended.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we adopt Amendment number 2 to Board Bill number 71 Committee Substitute as amended. Alderman, you may proceed.
Madam President, members of the board, this amendment would, on page 6, line 8, it would strike out section 7 in lieu of inserting section 8. This section would, since it is trigger legislation, if there was legislation to abolish the board of E&A, what the board of aldermen would have to do once that board is abolished, since this is trigger legislation, we would have to then pass a resolution. So this is just saying that once the E&A board is abolished per ordinance, that the board of aldermen would have to pass a resolution to enact the public advocate. And I close for any questions.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Sorry, what, did somebody say something?
Roll call.
Roll call. Okay. It has been moved by the alderman from the 14th, seconded by the alderwoman from the 7th, that we adopt amendment number 2 to Board Bill 71 committee substitute as amended. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Spicer,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg,
No.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderman Ryan,
No.
Alderman Balmer,
No.
Alderwoman Velazquez,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Browning,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
No.
Alderwoman Keys,
No.
Alderwoman Tyus,
No.
Alderwoman Boyd,
No.
Alderman Aldridge,
Aye.
President Green.
Aye.
8 aye votes and 7 no votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion from the alderman from the 14th to amend Board Bill 71 committee substitute as amended with amendment number 2. Any further discussion? Alderman from the 14th.
Thank you, Madam President, member of the board. This is the last amendment. I move to adopt amendment number 3 to Board Bill 71 committee substitute as amended.
There a second?
Second.
It's been moved by the alderman from the 14th, seconded by the alderwoman from the 7th, that we adopt amendment number 3 to Board Bill 71 committee substitute as amended. Alderman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the committee. Amendment number 3 is language that with working with the alderwoman from the 6th ward, the sponsor of the bill, it is cleanup language of what the actual ballot initiative would say. There's been some polling done on several of these amendments, and we've took some of that information from the polling to make sure that the language that will actually be on the ballot initiative is a lot more clear and direct to the point. It is in everybody's drive if they have any questions on it, and I close for any questions.
Roll
Any-
call.
Further discussion? Any further discussion?
Roll call.
Alderwoman from the 8th, did you have discussion? So your hand up and down.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm having some technical difficulties this morning. I was just hoping that the alderman from the 14th could just explain a little bit more about the clarity and the amendment.
Yes, ma'am. Let me.
Alderman from the 14th.
Yes, thank you, Alderwoman from the 8th. So what we end up doing, and I'll just read the language, based on the recommendation of the 2023 inaugural Charter Commission, shall the City of St. Louis Charter be amended to audit city departments for transparency, investigation, corruption, ensuring that city records are open to the public, and employ legal counsel at the direction of the Civilian Oversight or the Detention Facility Oversight Board under a new elected office of Public Advocate to be elected after the first mayoral election if the Board of Estimate and Appointment is terminated. So we did have to add that last part. This would only go into effect if the Board of Estimate is terminated, because that was not in the original language. The original language was based on that this would go into effect years, or it would go into effect in several years, or 2025 after the mayoral race that this would go into effect. Now that this is trigger legislation based on the abolishment of E&A, we had to make sure that that was very clear to the voters in the language so that they know this wouldn't go directly into effect unless there was further legislation to abolish the Board of Estimate and Appointment. So to be honest, we just had to clean it up because of with it now being trigger. We wanted to be very clear to voters that this would only go into effect if the Board of Estimate appointment is terminated after the first mayoral's election. Did that answer your question, Alderwoman from the 8th?
I think she's having trouble with her connection. That's what she said in the chat. So obviously I don't want to speak for her, but she might not be able to hear you.
Right, why don't we move on in that case? It is, okay, she did put in the chat that she can hear and that answered her question. All right. Is there any further discussion on Amendment 3? Seeing none, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we adopt Amendment number 3 to Board Bill 71 as amended. There was a request for roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg.
No.
Alderman Cone. Alderman Narayan.
No.
Alderman Ballmer.
No.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Browning.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
No.
Alderwoman Keys.
No.
Alderwoman Tyus.
No.
Alderwoman Boyd.
No.
Alderman Aldridge.
Aye.
President Green.
Aye.
Alderman Cone.
Point of order, I got kicked off, or point of clarification, I got kicked off. Are we voting on Board Bill 71 committee substitute as amended?
No, we are voting on Amendment 3 to the board bill.
And that's the ENA effective date amendment?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye.
Aye.
8 aye votes and 7 no votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion from the Alderman from the 14th to adopt Amendment number 3. If there are no further amendments, then Alderwoman from the 6th, you are now recognized on Board Bill 71 as amended.
Great, thank you, Madam President. With that, I close and I ask that we take a vote on Board Bill 71 as amended and with the amendments from today.
Committee substitute.
Committee substitute as amended.
Is there any further discussion?
Roll call.
Discussion, seeing none. Then we need a motion now that the bill has been amended, Alderwoman from the 6th, we need a motion to perfect Board Bill 71 as amended.
I move to perfect Board Bill 71 as amended.
71 committee substitute as
It's
amended.
not committee substitute anymore. It's been amended on the floor. So is that a second, Alderman from the 14th?
Yes, that was second.
It has been moved by the Alderwoman from the 6th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we perfect Board Bill number 71 as amended. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
No.
Alderman Oldenburg,
No.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderman Ryan,
No.
Alderman Balmer,
No.
Alderwoman Velazquez,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye, Alderwoman Spencer,
No.
Alderman Browning, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
No.
Alderwoman Keys,
No.
Alderwoman Tyus,
No.
Alderwoman Boyd,
No.
Alderman Aldridge,
Aye.
President Green,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Aye.
Alderman Browning,
No.
5 aye votes and 10 no votes.
By your vote, you failed to sustain the motion from the Alderwoman from the 6th to perfect Board Bill number 71 as amended.
That's the extent of board bills for perfection.
Report of engrossment.
Board Bill 57, 58, 48, 44, 54, 64, 66, 71 committee sub as amended, 72 committee sub, 76 floor sub, and 30 floor sub.
Third reading and final passage of board bills consent.
Board Bill 57, 58, 48, 44, 54, 64, and 66.
Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to adopt the third reading and final passage of board bills on the consent calendar.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we adopt the third reading and final passage of board bills on consent calendar.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we third read and finally pass the board bills on the consent calendar. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Switzer,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg,
Aye.
Alderman Cone, Alderman Ryan, Alderman Balmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Browning,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Aldridge,
Aye.
President Green,
Aye.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderman Ryan,
Aye.
15 aye votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion from the Alderwoman from the 10th to third read and finally pass the aforementioned bills. Third reading and final passage of board bills.
Board Bill 61 committee sub as amended, sponsored by Alderman Browning, President Green, Alderman Cone, Alderman Ryan, Alderman Aldridge, Alderwoman Sanye, and Alderwoman Switzer. An ordinance submitted to the qualified voters of the city, an amendment to the charter of the city of St. Louis, repealing and replacing certain sections of Article 13 to provide for the Department of Streets to become the Department of Transportation, with authority and duties regarding street and refuse and authority to plan, engineer, design city transportation projects and transportation programs, providing for elections to be held for the voting on the proposed amendment, for the manner of voting, and for the publication, certification, deposit, and recording of this ordinance containing an emergency clause.
Alderman from the 9th, you are recognized on the third reading and final passage of Board Bill 61 Committee Substitute as amended.
Thank you. I would move that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 61 Committee Substitute as amended.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 9th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 1st, that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 61 Committee Substitute as amended. Alderman, you may proceed.
Thank you, everybody. I'm very excited to pass this today. I think that we have an excellent opportunity to really catch up with our peer cities and really compete while also protecting everybody on our streets. This is something that I think is going to require a lot more work, and I look forward to working with you all as we take those steps. But today we are voting for the framework of a Department of Transportation that will protect, as I said, all road users, including pedestrians and cyclists, along with people who drive in our city. So this is a wonderful thing for our city. I look forward to sending this to the voters. And last thing I just want to say is that I want to give a huge thank you to my legislative assistant, Caitlin Smith, for the countless hours she has spent on this. With that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion?
Roll call.
Seeing none, then Alderman, you are recognized to close.
I think I've said everything that needs to be said. Look forward to passing this today and would ask for your favorable consideration.
Been moved by the Alderman from the 9th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 1st, that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 61 Committee Substitute as amended. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Aye.
Alderman Cone.
Aye.
Alderman Ryan.
Aye.
Alderman Balmer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez. Alderwoman Sanye.
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Browning.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus.
No.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Aldridge.
Aye.
President Green.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
Aye.
14 aye votes and 1 no vote.
By your vote, you sustain the motion from the Alderman from the 9th to third read and finally pass Board Bill 61 Committee Substitute as amended.
Board Bill 72 Committee Sub, sponsored by Alderwoman Velazquez, Alderman Browning, Alderman Ryan, Alderwoman Schweitzer, Alderwoman Sanye, and Alderman Balmer. An ordinance submitting to the qualified voters of the city a proposed amendment to the Charter of the City of St. Louis, amending Article 4 of the Charter and enacting a new section of Article 4 to remove the cap on municipal fines for certain ordinances violations, providing for an election to be held for voting on the proposed amendment and for the manner of voting, and for the publication, certification, deposit, and recording of this ordinance containing an emergency clause.
Alderwoman from the 6th, you're recognized on the third reading and final passage of Board Bill 72 Committee Substitute as amended.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 72 as amended.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 6th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 1st, that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 72 Committee Substitute as amended. Alderwoman, you may proceed.
Great. Thank you, Madam President. I'll keep it short. This bill is pretty straightforward. It was not a direct Charter Commission recommendation. One of the things that came very obvious in the public testimony was we have an opportunity to provide the city with more tools when it comes to particularly vacant and deteriorated non-owner occupied buildings. It simply lifts the cap off fees and fines related to those types of issues for the Board of Aldermen to later set at a date. This has been publicly supported by the Vacancy Collaborative, as well as other organizations really in the thick of addressing vacancies in the city. It is not a fix-all. I know that last week we heard some frustration with some other city-related properties. To my understanding, LRA has a very small amount of owner-occupied properties, which is what we're trying to address. But really, it's something that we can be proactive and help the city have more tools. In addition, there's still a lot of work to be done around vacancies. So with that, I yield for questions.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, Alderwoman from the 6th, you're recognized to close.
Great, thank you, Madam President. With that, I ask that this board third read and finally and pass Board Bill 72 committee substitute.
Roll call.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 6th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 1st, that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 72 committee substitute as amended. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Switzer,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg,
Aye.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderman Orion,
Aye.
Alderman Valmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Browning,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys, Alderwoman Tyus,
No.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Aldridge,
Present.
President Green,
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys.
No.
12 aye votes, 2 no votes, and 1 voted present.
By your vote, you sustain the motion from the Alderwoman from the 6th to third read and finally pass Board Bill 72 committee substitute as amended.
Board Bill 76, floor sub, sponsored by Alderman Cone, President Green, and Alderwoman Velazquez. An ordinance submitted to the qualified voters of the city, an amendment to the charter of the city of St. Louis, updating language throughout the charter to replace pronouns with specific titles, delete specific obsolete references, provide for modern methods of advertisement, use of modern departmental names, repealing and replacing Section 1 of Article 4 and enacting in lieu thereof a new Section 1 of Article 4, changing the name of the Board of Aldermen to the City Council and making similar changes, providing for elections to be held for the voting of the proposed amendment, for the manner of voting, and for the publication, certification, deposit, and recording of this ordinance containing an emergency clause.
Alderman from the 3rd, you are recognized on the third read and final passage of Board Bill 76 floor substitute.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 76 commit floor substitute.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 3rd, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 76 floor substitute. Alderman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a board bill that we discussed at length on the floor last week. I don't really have anything further to add at this point. Open to any conversation.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, Alderman, you are recognized to close.
Thank you, Madam President. As I mentioned in the remarks last week, this is an item that passed out from the Charter Commission. It's a very popular recommendation that they made, and will hopefully make it to the ballot box with the support of our colleagues. And with that, I renew my motion.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 3rd, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 76 floor substitute. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Switzer,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg,
No.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderman Orion,
No.
Alderman Valmer,
No.
Alderwoman Velazquez,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Browning,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys,
no,
Alderwoman Tyus,
no,
Alderwoman Boyd,
No.
Alderman Aldridge,
Aye.
President Green,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
9 aye votes and 6 no votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion from the Alderman from the third to third read and finally pass Board Bill 76 floor substitute.
Board Bill 30 floor sub sponsored by Alderman Aldridge, President Green, Alderman Ryan, Alderwoman Velazquez, and Alderwoman Sanye. An ordinance submitting to the qualified voters of the city of St. Louis a proposal to change Article 16, Section 3 of the Charter of the city of St. Louis to permit the Board of Aldermen to increase the amount of any item in the appropriations proposed in the city's annual budget ordinance, except amounts fixed by statute or for the payment of principal or interest of the city debt, for meeting any ordinance obligations and calling for an election for voting on said change in manner of voting at the election and the publication and certification deposit and recording required by Article 6, Section 33 of Missouri Constitution containing an emergency clause.
Alderman from the 14th, you're recognized on the third reading and final passage of Board Bill 30 floor substitute.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move to third read and final pass Board Bill 30 floor substitute.
There a second?
Second.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman or Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 10th, that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 30 floor substitute. Alderman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I'll keep it short. We've actually went over this bill 10 times, the most out of any charter recommendation that has come in front of us. This would, in short terms, give the Board of Aldermen more authority to have input over the budget. We currently only have the ability to decrease. We would now be able to have the ability to increase and decrease. We added a language in there that we took from the state that you have to balance a budget. So where the same amount you decrease, you must increase. And it would be eliminating a process. So now, once it comes out of committee, instead of going back to ENA, it gives the board more time to be able to send it straight to the Board of Aldermen so that we can deliberate and make sure we get the budget to the mayor's office before July 1st. And with that, I close for any questions.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, Alderman from the 14th, you're recognized to close.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I appreciate all my colleagues in this process that has weighed in. I also want to thank the mayor's office for some of the cleanup language that we passed last week to make sure that this is something that would make sense if passed, as well as, again, like I say, thank all my colleagues. When we first passed this, being able to have support north and south on this piece of legislation. So with that, I close on Board Bill 30 floor substitute.
Been
roll
moved by
call,
Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 10th, that we third read and finally pass Board Bill 30 floor substitute. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg,
Aye.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderman Ryan,
Aye.
Alderman Vollmer,
No.
Alderwoman Velazquez,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Browning,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys,
no,
Alderwoman Tyus,
No.
Alderwoman Boyd,
No.
Alderman Aldridge,
Aye.
President Green.
Aye.
11 aye votes and 4 no votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion from the Alderman from the 14th to third read and finally pass Board Bill 30, floor substitute.
That's the extent of third reading and final passage of board bills.
Report of the finally passed and signed by the President.
Board Bill 57, 58, 48, 44, 54, 64, 66, 61 committee sub as amended, 72 committee sub, 76, and 30 floor sub.
All other business being suspended, the President shall in open session affix her signature hereto to the end that these may become law. First reading of resolutions reference to committees.
We have none.
We can dispense with line item 20. Second reading of resolutions, committee reports and adoptions.
I'm sorry, there we go. We have none.
We can dispense with line item 21. Alderman from the 14th, you are recognized on the motion to suspend the rules for the purposes of introducing courtesy resolution number 110.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move to suspend the rules to introduce courtesy resolution 110.
Second.
Been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 10th, that we suspend the rules for the purposes of introducing courtesy resolution 110. This is a non-debatable motion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Switzer.
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Aye.
Alderman Cone.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan.
Aye.
Alderman Valmer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye.
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Browning.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Present.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Aldridge.
Aye.
President Green.
Aye.
14 aye votes and 1 voted present.
By your vote, you sustain the motion from the Alderman from the 14th. If you could please place resolution 110 at the end of the courtesy resolutions calendar.
So noted.
You could also make sure that I am a co-sponsor on that resolution. Appreciate it.
So noted.
Alderwoman from the 12th.
I'm sorry, I don't have my Zoom is messing up. What is resolution one? What was it? 110? Because I can't get into what is the title?
Alderman from the 14th, would you?
Recognizing Kitty Ratcliffe on her retirement.
Thank you.
Alderwoman from the 10th, you are recognized on the motion to adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar.
Second.
Been moved by the Alderman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Miscellaneous and unfinished business.
We have none.
Announcements.
Thursday, August 15th, 2024, Special Committee on Reducing Red Tape will hold a committee hearing at the Northside Economic Empowerment Center. The address is 4248 Cottage Avenue. Friday, August 16th, full board meeting in the chambers at 10 a.m. That's the extent of the announcement.
And I would like to announce that given that we were able to pass out charter recommendations today, that we will be canceling the full board meeting on Friday. So please, Madam Clerk, please strike that from the calendar.
So noted. And we also will have a budget hearing on Wednesday as well. I think it's
10 a.m.
at 10 a.m.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Alderman from the 2nd.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would request, if it's appropriate, to have a quick moment of silence to have some thoughts and prayers for Ferguson police officer Travis Brown, who was hurt in the line of duty and a victim to violent protests over the weekend. The board would join me in that. I would appreciate it.
We could please bow our heads for a moment of silence. Right. Any further announcements? Any further announcements? Alderwoman from the 10th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would like to share the excitement with our very own Mr. Gary, the King of Hospitality, and welcoming the Universal Circus to St. Louis. It will be opening this Friday, August the 16th, and sharing the experience through September the 2nd. They were actually looking forward to coming down here with us on Friday the 16th. So I'm going to have to share that our meeting is canceled, but I would like to invite all of you all on behalf of, I'm stepping on his toes a little bit, but I hope he doesn't mind, Alderman Aldridge, again, to invite you all to share in the opening night, which is Friday, August the 16th. We'll be marching from the hotel where they're staying to the ring top, and it's just going to be a great experience. It's the family reunion tour. It's the 30th year of the Universal Soul Circus. So again, I invite all of you all to join us and share with your networks. There's a lot of experiences and a lot of engagement that's going to happen. That's the Universal Soul Circus this Friday, August the 16th through September the 2nd.
Any further announcements? Any further announcements? Seeing none, Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to excuse.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. All members were present this morning.
Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would like to move that we adjourn until September the 13th, 2024.
Roll call.
Second. It's been moved by the Alderman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 1st, that we adjourn until Friday, August 16th, 2024. Has there really been a request for roll call?
No, it's not August the 16th.
Or sorry, September 13th. Didn't update that on my notes here. September 13th.
I withdraw my roll call.
Okay, and the roll call has been withdrawn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. See you September 13th.